I guess there's no one from Gateway because I didn't invite Anton in time and just was made aware today. But anyways, we can just skip Gateway today. Shatter, any updates?
On our end, we found an issue in the bulk validator registration, and we identified the problem, and we're working on a fix. And we also have an issue in Chiado that inclusion is not working that we are investigating at the moment. Still a work in progress, the lib P2P updates. And we have a meeting end of the week to discuss some alternative solution since we're still facing communication issues between validators and keepers.
What was the issue on Shadow?
Yeah, we're still investigating. We're not sure yet.
But what does it affect? Block building or?
Yeah, so the inclusion is not working at the moment.
So you managed to build a block, but it's not getting accepted by others?
No, the keepers are not generating decryption keys at all. So
inclusion of encrypted transactions, you mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So does it mean that Shatter is not working on Shatter right now?
Yes.
Okay. And do you think it can be? It shouldn't be connected, but just want to ask, connected to Vectra? Probably not, but
yeah, I don't think so. At least, like we had shatterized transactions up until this week. So.
Okay. Thank you.
And the validator registration is only on Shadow as well, right?
Yes.
So on mainnet, everything is still working fine.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Testing.
Hello. Regarding Hive, I have synced fork with upstream and also removed some pre-merge related code from our Gnosis simulator, and that's it from Hive side.
So can you repeat the last part?
Removed some pre-merge related code like terminal total difficulty from simulator with tests.
And that's why?
Because TTD was removed from Geth and Erigon, and actually in upstream they removed it this year. So I just synchronize our changes with upstream.
Okay, so that's a concept that clients no longer support.
Yeah.
Got it, makes sense. For Ethereum tests, any updates or ESTs or?
Yeah, so working on adding a constructor field of Gnosis accounts to G10 and EST. That's it.
What an EST, sorry?
To G10 and EST. Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yes, no other clients, no other network uses them. All right, so let's move on to generic updates. Nethermind.
Hi, so no major updates from Nethermind. We are right now preparing for Hoodie and we'll be monitoring, and I guess based on Hoodie results, we will decide by the end of this week, right, what we'll be doing with Gnosis.
Yeah.
One thing which we spotted recently is some improvement Mark did on Chiado with Shatter validators. We noticed some small underperformance, and Mark have some issue solved for that. But this is still on master, and this is not like a big deal. So some fine tuning.
All right. Okay, for Erigon, I had a question. So Nethermind in their extra data field includes basically the Nethermind string in hex encoded. Do you have something similar And if not, why not?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but maybe it's configurable. I guess we could. The graffiti, you mean, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, go ahead, Marek.
Yeah, it's not graffiti. It is, let's say, EL graffiti, so extra data. And as far as I know, for Erigon, by default, it is null or 0x, basically, something empty. Yeah.
And do you know what Geth does?
I have seen that Geth sometimes put Geth and the version number.
Yeah, we can probably do the same or something similar to you and Geth.
Yeah, and it is configurable on our side. And the point is that because we don't have MEV and builders, MEV boost, etc., and block builders, to measure client diversity on Gnosis Chain, we can just check extra data, and it should be it should give us very good approximation.
Yeah, and so for now it's easy because you only have Nethermind that has the extra data and Erigon that doesn't, but we have some exciting news for other clients. So yeah, it might be useful in the future.
Okay, sure, we'll add it.
Sounds good. Okay, and then for updates?
So yes, this Monday we released Erigon 3.0, the general availability version, and we strongly encourage people to migrate from Erigon 2 to Erigon 3. And we want to decommission Erigon 2 starting from the 1st of May. So yeah, I think that's all from me. Maybe Somnath or Milan have something more to say.
Nothing from me.
Okay, then maybe one question, because we talked about this like a few months ago, I think, that Erigon v3 has way higher requirements for RAM. Is this still the case? How much do you need for Gnosis Chain specifically?
Well, I think it should run fine with 64 gigabytes. We can. Yeah, I don't remember whether we have any Gnosis instances on 32 gigabytes, but that's something we can check and try to optimize performance. But with 64 gigs, it should be fine.
Yeah, because I think we have quite a lot of tap nodes actually on Gnosis Chain that only have like 32 gigabytes at most, and then even then, running other things as well. So 64 gigs is still a very big requirement, I would say, in 2025, at least for home stakers. So yeah, it would be nice to know if this can be seen, lowered a bit. And if it's actually required, like for Ethereum mainnet, maybe you need 64, but maybe for Gnosis Chain you need less. I don't know why you need that much.
I think for Ethereum mainnet we have a weak validator with 32 gigabytes, and its performance is acceptable. Basically, I'll check. Okay, well, I'll create a task to profile memory consumption, and specifically for Gnosis Chain as well, and we will work towards. I guess now if you run Erigon 3 on Gnosis Chain with 32 gigabytes, it will be fine, but maybe not stellar. And we'll work on optimizing it further. But we wanted to get the first release of Erigon 3 officially. So because it's stable, it works fine, and we can improve, make some optimizations in 3.1 and so on. But because we've been working on Erigon 3 for more than 3 years, I believe.
Right. Yeah, but I think Erigon V2 can run on less than 16 gigs, so that's still, you know, a lot of additional requirements. But yeah, let's see in the future. Guillaume?
Yeah, so in case you're not aware, I mean, you probably are, but just in case, there's been an EAP that was created that's for Ether mainnet that's called the hardware requirements. And currently, the recommendation is minimum 32 gigabytes and 64 recommended. And the reason for this is because we want to push for scalability, and so we want to raise the gas limit and do fancy ZK stuff in the future. Like we're talking 5 years, at least 5 years from now. But yeah, they wanted to have the room for this. So while I believe that that Gnosis Chain has a bit more time ahead of itself before it starts requiring those things, it's not necessarily a bad thing to start recommending to increase the specs, because Ethereum is going to, like Ethereum mainnet is going to raise the hardware requirements at some point. I mean, the spec has already been published, so because we have this spec, we intend to use that hardware that we require. So I think yeah, it's not too shocking to require 64 gigabytes today. Yeah, just my 50 cents, but make sure you're aware of that.
Makes sense, thank you. Samnat?
Yeah, firstly, a little ironic coming from Guillaume, who's also the leading proponent of stateless validators. I don't
Yep.
know. Yeah.
Not my choice. I'm just saying this has been said.
Right, yeah. For Erigon, the mainnet validator, which is running, or if you try to run it on 32 gigs, it will run fine. I actually have multiple instances of testnets running on my laptop just fine. Initial sync and all the way to the tip. But there are some corner cases which are getting ironed out as we speak, as in, you know, in the next few releases, it's going to be pretty stable. So the only issue with running with smaller memory computer is that there are some background processes also running along with just the execution client. And then it sometimes gets a little memory hungry. It will still work though, and we have to iron out the corner cases. Now, you could always go back to Erigon 2, but we are a small team, and most of the focus for the team is also actually achieving better performance in some areas. So duplicating the code between Erigon 2 and Erigon 3 for stuff like core protocol changes and hard forks and so on is getting really messy, tricky, and draining for all of us, to the point that if we continue doing this, we will end up having 2 very unstable release artifacts going on to the public, which is not a good thing security-wise. So we are taking the decision to not support Erigon 2 going forward. And if it is surprising, I must point out that our initial plan was to have Pectra rolled out sometime in mid-March or something, and we could have supported it for another 1 or 2 months after that with Erigon 2. But now it's like getting a little out of hand. So additional 2 months of supporting Erigon 2, that's like a massive drain on us. So we had to take this decision.
Yeah, but I mean, I absolutely agree. We are going to push comms as well for people to update to Erigon 3 and update the DAppNode packages. So, I mean, there's no issue on my side, just this small thing about maybe trying to optimize a bit the RAM, because specifically we have a lot of DApp nodes that have only 32 gigabytes. Andrew?
Yeah, also I forgot to mention that actually that number, it includes running Erigon 3 plus Kaplan. So basically with Erigon 3 by default, you don't need a separate beacon node process. Kaplan is our embedded beacon node. So you only need Validator client, like that keeps your keys, but you don't need a separate beacon node, a separate CL client.
Got it. Makes sense. Milan, maybe you wanted to say the same?
Yeah, I think I wanted to say that I actually think that a month or so ago, I ran Erigon 3 on my old MacBook M1 with 16 gigabytes of RAM. So I actually think we're probably fine with 16 gigabytes as well. It's just that maybe we need to make sure I'm not wrong. But I do have a memory of running Gnosis mainnet on my 16 gig laptop, and it was fine.
Got it.
So, but like I think that it still holds that we have like an action item to actually verify this. I just like remembered randomly that I actually did run it, and it was fine. And I think basically if you give it more RAM, it just the validator performance increases. Like the more RAM you give it, the quicker you're gonna be at the chain tip in terms of megagas per second. So minimum 16, I think it should work. And then the more RAM you give it, the quicker it gets, is kind of my observation. But like, I think, yeah, as I said, we should probably verify this. No, it's not just for DL with Kaplan.
All right. Guillaume, any updates regarding Geth and Vectra?
Yeah, I'm back. And I started, so yesterday Geth release, or maybe 2 days ago, release 1.15.6, which is supposed to be the release that we hope will go through the Hoodie transition, which I think happens today, maybe tomorrow. And after that mainnet. So I started rebasing. I'm almost done. I have a couple more files, but that should be it. Then I will, if everything goes well, I will start try to join any testnet, any devnet that is available. Thank you for the time update. Yeah, it's once this happens, well, hopefully I don't find any bugs and we're good to go. That's pretty much the state. Otherwise, I'll debug. Yeah. Sorry, did someone say something?
I don't
Okay.
think so.
I guess not. Well then, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. If I remember something, yeah, I'll ping the channel.
All right, thank you. Rat?
Yeah, so Red is finally Pectra ready. It is running live on Chiado right now. The version that is currently running, so I stumbled upon something that's not working. I fixed it. So it went through some changes. The code went through some changes and it's finally running live. So I'll just run one full sync from post merge to chain tip just to see if things go smoothly.
So you're rerunning a sync now, or you already did that?
No, I will be doing it. So
Okay.
the version that is currently live, that went through some changes in the middle.
Awesome. So yeah, we will likely announce REST, but as an alpha client, of course, not to be used as validating or anything serious at the same time as Spectra.
Yes.
There is still one caveat, is that we don't have pre-merge, and so we have to download basically a pretty big binary file, whatever, for the state right after the merge. That's why it's, well, among other things, why it's still alpha, but at least people can start playing with it if they want to. And we also don't quite know how pre-merge history dropping will work on Wrath, because they don't support SnapSync. So still a few things to figure out. So not a stable client by any means, but very good news in my opinion.
Yes, so downloading state, importing state, that should be part of the script, like before we announce release. But yes, I'll look into pre-merge after the whole Pectra thing is done.
All right. So regarding Pectra, I think there's not too much more to add. We'll see tomorrow and Friday how Wood is going and how the testing is going and all of that. And then we'll schedule a call Friday, probably around like fairly late, let's say 3-4 p.m., so that we have the most time basically to run tests on Hoodie. And then we will decide, or maybe not. I mean, maybe it's not time yet to set a date, but hopefully we can then set a date for Gnosis Chain mainnet. So I will send invites probably today for that specifically. All right. So one last point I wanted to address real quick because I just saw something about this on Telegram. So we haven't really talked about the pre-merge history, like dropping the history. So I guess both clients are ready now, right? Erigon and Nethermind.
I think like initially in Bangkok or soon after Bangkok, it was agreed to drop it for Ethereum mainnet on the 1st of May, but that might be delayed because of the Pectra delay. We haven't in Erigon, we haven't implemented it yet.
But I mean, functionally speaking, it works with the minimal presets at least, right?
Yeah. That's. I need to double check what exactly the differences are, but broadly speaking, yes.
Just Erigon 3, that is. Erigon 2 doesn't.
Right.
Yes, we are ready, just from Nethermind side, and it would be good to upload this history somewhere, and that's mostly it.
So wait, sorry, I was writing. I didn't catch everything. So Nethermind is ready, but what
but just we have to upload this history somewhere as well.
Right. So the ERA files now we can export them and import them without any issues. We just need to put them on torrents and S3 basically.
Yes, exactly.
And then clients, anyways, already SnapSync by default, and then they just will not fetch receipts and headers and whatever from pre-merge, right?
Exactly.
And this is then going to be published in a new release and set by default in the clients.
So yeah, we can do it for Chiado. It's just a discussion point right now. For now, the default are still to have all history, and right now, if the node is in sync, then there is no automatic process of removing that. You have to resync. We are working on automatic process as well.
Okay, but like like on May 1st or whatever the dates will be for Ethereum mainnet, will this be made by default? Like that when you sync from scratch a node, like a version after May 1st, it will automatically not have the history, or okay?
Yes, that is the plan. So that's why we have to discuss Chiado and in Ethereum context Polia. Now when we want to drop history.
Right, and this is for Nethermind managed by Yaroslav, right? Oh yeah, right. You just raise your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that I think on the last ACD call, it was agreed that the May 1st, the history will be dropped on Sepolia. And for the mainnet, it's kind of with the Pectra, but there is some CL dependency on one of the APs, which kind of requires some time after Pectra to go live. So, like, I guess the plan is to drop history on the mainnet is like after Pectra within, I guess, a week or so. That's my understanding.
Makes sense. Guillaume?
Yeah, we just FYI, Geth is working on it, but we're not gonna be ready to do that on May 1st. Okay, it's very unlikely. We're working on it, but yeah, probably not gonna happen by May 1st. So we will need to somehow be able to get the blocks from somewhere. I mean, we do have machines, I assume, that are running the whole thing. We will be able to, not like to handle blocks, to handle clients that do not serve those blocks, but we will still need to be able to find the blocks for the following few months, FYI.
Yeah, I mean, we're still going to run full nodes for sure internally for the foreseeable future. Camille?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to mention, that we, in Nethermind, we have some archive nodes for Shadow, that's for sure. So we'll keep them running for a longer time. And so those will be still serving all of the data for Geth and also for others in case something will fail.
And we can just, for all nodes that are running now, we can not remove history for some time, so they will have, in case of Shadow, history.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I think we have everything then. Any questions or comments? Milan?
Hey, sorry, yeah, I joined the call like a bit later and I missed to give my update, but I just wanted to say that for Erigon Shutter support is pretty much ready. I managed to get a few shutterized blocks built last week, and we're probably going to look into including it in the shutter support in Erigon 3.1 or 3.2, depending on like our release backlog. But yeah, that's it. Just wanted to say that managed to get it to work, and yeah, thanks for the help on the shutter side team and also Mark from Nethermind. But yeah, that's all.
Awesome, that's great news. Yeah, this moves us close also to be able to force, well, DevRels obviously don't support it yet, but to force block validation to include like shadow rules and stuff like that. So perfect. All right, anything else? Awesome, then thanks for joining and see you for some of you Friday and for the others next week. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.